That's how you start a season. That's how you do it, Formula One. Throw some rain in the mix. Y'all put 6 rookies on the grid. Thank you. Thank you. Now we got 6 Logan Sargents. I'm playing. But we got six drivers who not that experienced when it comes to driving these cars. So now we got even more excitement every race because someone gonna crash. Someone gonna crash. And let me start off by saying, shout out to Isaac. Because you were the first one. I mean, it's never good to crash in a race, but it's definitely not good to crash on a formation lap. But it happens to everybody. Not everybody, but it happens to some people. It happened to Charles, I want to say like a year or two ago in Brazil. It happens, bro. It happens. Now, whether or not it was your fault, we all know it was your fault, but you good though. You good. Like, Dad of the Year over here, Anthony Hamilton, he came over to help you out. Keep your head high, shoulders back, chest out. It's okay, bro. You still in Formula One. It's all good. But, I mean, before the race even started, it was something. And then once the race actually started, it was like one thing after another. Carlos crashed. Like, bro, we haven't even had a full, like, racing lap yet. And we got 2 cars out. And Carlos, he had a good FP1 session, but this car of his, I feel like he's still getting used to it. Everybody's still getting used to it, but at the same time, you were driving behind a safety car, dog. Like, you wasn't even racing. You were behind a safety car. And you spun and raced over, weekend over. Drove 15 hours to Australia for what? You know? But, oh, man, so much happened in this race. If y'all remember 2023 in Australia and how crazy and hectic that race was, everybody kept crashing. The 2 Alpines crashed. I want to say, like, Lance was driving it into, like, the gravel. At the time, it may have been, like, Nick DeVries. He was, like, locking up everywhere. Like, it was a lot going on in that race. And I knew it was going to be the same thing or even worse this year because you had 6 rookies and you had rain. So it's like, you already knew what was going to happen. You already knew it was going to be something crazy. Going into this race, I was like, there's no way it's going to be like a smooth sailing race. And sure enough, formation lap, it just kicked it all off. But overall, like, this is what I want in Formula One. I don't want everybody crashing, obviously, because it's dangerous, number one. And number two is, like, I don't want to pray on nobody's downfall. But I do want exciting racing. Like, the smaller teams do a little better in qualifying to throw a wrench and then possibly make something happen. Being behind another driver for that long, for anybody, it must be trash. But for Lewis, for him to be behind Alex, of all people, and Alex is like backing him up. I want to say at one point, it was like 13 seconds between Alex and Yuki. It's like, bro, you're not even trying to race at this point. Like you're just trying to back me up. And it gave me vibes of like Alonso Monaco in 2023, where it was like back up. I want to say it was 2023. It may have been 2022. But remember when Alonso was backing everybody back up in Monaco and he was like 30 seconds behind the people in the front? That's how it felt watching Alex back up Lewis for 13 seconds. I'm like, bro, and Lewis cannot get past him for some reason. I mean, we all know the reason, but like, it's like, what are we doing, bro? Like, are you racing or are we trying to play backup? Like, what are we doing, bro? Alex got to get it together. But then when the race restarted, now he want to race. It's like, bro, you should have been doing this. We're racing right now. Like, bro, like, if you're going to get past, bro. Like, you should have been doing this. And the fact that nigga finished ahead of Lewis still blows me. Like, the whole Ferrari strategy blew me today, but I'm going to get to that later. But I want to see, like, the smaller teams get better, like, and continue to do better and continue to qualify better because it makes for a more exciting race when someone's qualifying. I would say not where they should be, but if they qualified there, then they qualified there. But qualifying in an unusual spot for them. Like, Yuki qualifying where he qualified was an unusual spot for him. I want to see more teams start to do that. I know it's going to be a long shot as the year progresses. Like there's gonna be more and more upgrades with every team in the development of all the cars, but we should see that more and more often. I don't want to see the same 3 cars on the front row or the same 3 teams on the first 2 rows. I want to see a little bit of variety. Who knows? I want to see Carlos get up into like a P3 one day in qualifying, just to make it more exciting. Because if you have a solid qualifying car, that's on the way to having a solid race car. And, everybody would love to have all the teams fighting on a level playing field. But the way that Formula One is set up, it's a formula. So the fact that we don't have I'm trying to find the word for it. I would just love to see Carlos get into a better position, or Isaac get into a better position, or Yuki, or some of these other drivers who don't normally qualify that high get into higher qualifying positions, because it makes for a more exciting race. This whole race reminded me of Sochi 2021, or Sochi, however you say it. But this whole race reminded me of Russia 2021, except this time, Lando went off road and still won the race. And instead of Lewis pitting for inters, and Ferrari in general just pitting for inters, they stayed out like Lando stayed out. And now we P9 or P8 and P10. It's like, this is my first year supporting Ferrari. Obviously, last year I was supporting Mercedes. I'm a Lewis fan, so it is what it is. But, I watch Formula One for a while now. So you see like the Ferrari memes every Sunday or every Saturday, depending on what they do in qualifying. And you see like the jokes about Ferrari and everybody on their pit wall being clowns. And Mattia was the reason for it all. And all this yappity yap, yap, yap. Whole time, as an organization, it's just terrible. Like, how are you gonna be there? I'm like 13 hours away from Australia right now. I think it's 15 hours away. Whatever it is from the East Coast of America. How are you actually there and can't tell that it's raining as hard as it is, but everybody else can? You see, everybody in the crowd got ponchos on and umbrellas. Y'all the only niggas in the world trying to stay out on slick tires when it's obviously raining. Even if it was drying up, it's not going to dry up in time for you to actually get the use out of the slick tires. So why not just pit Charles and Lewis behind Max? From now on, whatever you see Max do, you do. You like what Max like. You like what Hannah like. From now on, whatever Max does, you follow, my nigga, because y'all can't think for yourselves, obviously. Y'all don't have the knowledge or the wisdom to actually make things happen. It just boggles my mind how you let an opportunity like that slip away. Like, we could have legit been on the podium. Not saying we would have won the race, but we could have been on the podium. And what pours salt in the wound is this nigga, Oscar Piastri, was sitting on the grass for a whole 30 minutes, it felt like, trying to get his car out. Backed his car out, surprisingly. Got back on track, pitted, got out the pits, still passed Lewis to get P9. Like, bro, how does that happen? How? Like, how? How, Sway? How? Because apparently none of y'all niggas got the answers. None of y'all niggas got the answers. And it really is like, it's not making no sense. It's not making no sense at all. As an organization, as prestigious as Ferrari, y'all the one been here since the beginning of that time, since the first day of Formula One, y'all been here, right? You would think, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm crazy for thinking this, you would think y'all know how to pick a strategy team. You would think the oldest team in Formula One would naturally have at least one of the most basic and knowledgeable strategy teams on the grid. But no. It goes Haas, then us, then everybody else. Like, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm clueless on the situation or how racing strategy works, but I promise to God, it don't look that hard. Like, this ain't that difficult. Like, I promise it's not. All y'all doing is picking tires for the most part. Now, I understand there's a lot more that goes into it, obviously, whether engine modes, maps, like, you know, different drivers, tire wear, heat in the car, gas. Like, I get it. But when it comes down to basic stuff like this, I mean, like the peanut butter and jelly of it all, how can you mess it up? So I could talk about them all day. I'm not going to waste my breath because I know this is going to be one of many times where I'm going to get in front of this mic and be like, what are we doing? Eventually, I'm going to get to a point where I'm just going to feel numb on the inside. I'm not going to feel anything anymore. Like every other Ferrari fan, like all the other Tifosi, they just don't feel anything anymore. Like they need a win at Monza to feel anything, or Monaco to feel anything. But outside of those two tracks, or maybe an Imola, we don't feel anything because of stuff like this, because you can't get the basics down pat. It's like back to the drawing board. And if everybody can get on the same page with the drivers, because you have two of the best drivers in the sport. I mean, you got Max, but I mean, we have, outside of Max, we have two of the best drivers in the sport, and we're finishing P8 and P9. What are we doing? Yo, what are we doing, bro? Like, I'm not even mad. Like, bro, like, what are we doing, gang? Next topic. The fight between Lando and Oscar today could have been all time. It could have been more electric than what it was. But McLaren being McLaren, they love team orders. Like McLaren love team orders. Like cops love. Like, I don't understand how you see a driver get to the back of your other driver, about to pass him, and be like, nah, hold up, stay where you are, team orders. It's like, bro, you could have told me that. It's been raining for the past 30 minutes. It was raining when the race began. Why wait till I'm about to pass, bro, to tell me team orders? Like, that makes no sense. Like, the team orders are for what? If McLaren didn't win this race, we would speak on them the same way we speak on Ferrari. Team orders for what? Like, it's been raining for the past 30 minutes. Y'all could have said this in the meeting this morning. Team orders, whoever gets the first lap, y'all stay behind each other until it gets dry. Y'all could have did that. But no, y'all want to say team orders when the nigga's about to pass you, or when the nigga's about to pass your quote unquote driver number one, or number one driver, but at the same time, y'all don't have number one drivers. And then when he drops back, where like there's like a sizable gap, I'm not too sure if he was out of DRS yet, but when he drops back, then it's like, oh, y'all free to race. It's like, nigga, it's too late now. I'm already like behind him, like a good margin. Like, what's the point of telling me stay put and then say, oh, you're free to race? Like, nigga, it's been raining this whole time. Like, what's the point of even doing that? Like, it's just like simplistic things that like shouldn't be happening in Formula One when it comes to like two great drivers. Like, what's the point of having two great drivers if you're gonna hold one of the other drivers? Like, don't hold my nigga Oscar. Like, that was hoe. Like, that was hoe behavior. What are we doing? Like, why even give bro the opportunity by giving him the car, giving him the contract, giving him the ability to do what he do? But then at the last moment when he's actually about to pass Lando, it's like, nah, chill out. It's like, bro, let my nigga be great, bro. Let bro be great. Like, let bro be great, because if bro do what he did to Alpine on y'all, y'all don't think now he the bad guy. You didn't allow him to be great through the years that he was there. He's staying with y'all because of the car. Don't get it confused. But when if someone else had a car like that, I guarantee Oscar might leave, because Oscar not with this second fiddle type stuff. Like, I promise you, he not. I can see it in his demeanor. I can see it in his eyes. Like, Oscar really got that dog in him. And when he gets told to stay put, it's like, bro, who are you talking to, my nigga? It's like, yo, I'm a great driver too. Arguably, I'm better than Lando. So, depending on who you ask. So, it's like, let my man be great. Like, let him do his job that you actually pay him to do, which is to race cars and try to win. Because if he was a nigga like Lance or a nigga like Checo who don't try to win every race, then it'll be a problem. But now he want to win. Y'all trying to hold him back. It's like, let bro be great. You got to let greatness shine, or it will leave you. Trust. Ask Toto. Even though it's not a good example of, Lewis shining, because he got beat by almost everybody, including Kimmy, including George, including Lance, including a bunch of people. I say that to say is like, y'all got to let Oscar be Oscar, because I'm getting frustrated for him. I'm not even like a McLaren fan, but I'm getting frustrated for Oscar. I'm like, yo, this is whack. Like, every time Oscar get close to Lando, it's team orders. It's like, bro, it's the first race of the season. Maybe if it was like an obvious gap between the points and like Lando was like 75 points ahead of Oscar, then yeah, I get it. But chill out. Let him race. How does Max always do it? Like, how does he always do it? Like, how does he always come in P2 when it's raining? Or almost win the race? Max is one of those drivers where he can do a lot with a little bit. All you got to do is really you might can give Max the safety car and he might pop it up in P5. Like, the way this man just stays on his like grind and like stays focused on the race and don't let too much fluster him. I mean, fluster him in a way of like, he don't like allow it to affect his driving. Then that's like the most redeeming quality about him. Like, he is just laser focused all the time on making sure he does the best race he can do. And no matter what's going on around him, his pit wall and him are like in sync always. Well, most of the time they're in sync, and they can never lose a race, or they can never count Max out if he's in the race, because it's like, he's going to pop it up in P2, P1, P3, P4. Like, he's going to be in that top 5 or top 4 regardless of whatever's going on. It can start raining down lava out the sky, and then everybody's getting killed, and all of a sudden you see Max just like coming through the smoke. It's like, bro, this nigga is always on something, and it blows me, because the same way I felt in Russia 2021 where Lewis won, and then you see Max come in P2, it's like, yo, where did he come from? Bro was nowhere the whole race, and then at the very end, he's fighting for a win. It's like, yo, where did he come from? Now, granted, his pit wall made great decisions, like I said. From now on, Ferrari, you like what Max like. You like what Hannah like. From now on. From this day, going for, until you get a new team of strategists, or just hire me, bro. Hire me. I'll be the sacrifice for everybody else. Just hire me. I promise I'll straighten everything out. I promise I will. Like, I don't got to worry about speaking Italian. I could be Lewis's race engineer. I can be somebody in the organization to make this pan out, because there's no way that y'all can't get what y'all need across to the drivers and vice versa. Like, if you got both drivers telling you to shut up and be quiet, that's an issue. That's an issue. Like, you got Lewis cussing on the mic day one. Race one, you got him cussing. Like, he don't even curse like that, on mic at least. So it's like, that's saying a lot. Like, that speaks volumes within itself. My thoughts on the rookies this year, like, I love them all. Like, they all seem like they're level-headed. They all seem very grateful to be here. They all seem like They all seem like they actually want to be in Formula One, actually want to learn how to drive, and they're not just like young pay drivers. Like they actually all did good in Formula 2 and weren't at the back of the grid, and now they just got money from like their father or whoever to be in Formula One. Now they actually earn their right, like they earn their drive in Formula One. I want to see them do well and actually get better and better and become the drivers that Charles, Pierre, Lando, Carlos, like I want them to become those type of drivers in the next 6-7 years because they got plenty of talent. Like the talent is there. They just got to continue to build on it. And hopefully the teams give them the opportunity to actually build on that and get better and better as time goes on. Because like a rookie in any sport, like you're not going to be like number one or like you're not going to win your first year out. Like even in the NFL with Jaden Daniels, like Jaden Daniels had a great year last year, but that's like an anomaly. Like you don't really have that often where a rookie comes out and goes crazy. Last time I can think about it is when I guess D Rose took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals his rookie year. Outside of those two like people, you don't see too many rookies just come out and start scorching it because it's a very hard thing to do. So for all the rookies, like I just want to see them do better and better as the races go on, as the years go on, because I really don't want to have like this cycle of bad drivers, because I don't mind having inexperienced drivers make accidents, but when you start having drivers like Latifi, Nikita, and Logan Sargent crashing all the time, it makes the race fun and like jokes and memes and all that good stuff. But at the same time, it's like, I want to see the 20 best drivers on the grid, or sorry, next year, 22. But I want to see the 20 best drivers on the grid. I don't want to see the 17 or 16 best drivers and then 4 niggas who are trash, who always crash. Because at that point, I feel like, put me in the car, you know? So now this didn't happen during the race. When Lando got P1 and they panned the camera to the garage and watched all the mechanics and everybody celebrate, am I the only one that saw that mechanic jump into that other mechanic's arms and put both legs around his waist? Insane. Uncalled for, nutty behavior, bro. What, as a grown man, makes you think that jumping, like, I understand, like, you geek, like, the hugging part, that's cool or whatever. Like, obviously, I'm not, like, homophobic or nothing like that. But the fact that you jumped into another guy's arms and your first thought was to wrap both your legs around his waist, crazy. It's crazy. That's crazy. I promise to God, that was the craziest part about qualifying to me. I was like, yo, did anybody see that? Because, like, right now, I haven't heard nobody like post about it, like comment on it. And I'm not looking for validation, but like, yo, that's crazy. Like, that was wild. Like, why are you jumping? Why are you wrapping both your legs around, bro? Like, you got P1, like you didn't win a WDC. Now, WDC, do what you want to do. You can suck them off in the garage. I don't care. But P1 on your first race is like, bro, like, you ain't got to wrap your whole legs around, gang. Like, that's crazy. That's insane. I'm sorry. All right, so speaking on the season as a whole, I'm really excited to see all the things that are going to happen eventually as, like, the year goes on. If this was the first race, I can only imagine what's going to be happening in race 10, race 15. Like, wait till we get to a more complex track. I mean, Australia is a little bit difficult for a lot of drivers, even in the dry. But, like, wait till we get to, like, the Imolas and it starts raining and the track is dumb narrow. That's going to be a crash fest. You're going to have these other tracks like Monaco where the drivers are not used to having streets so narrow. Baku, like, all these street tracks on the grid, I feel like are going to be challenging this year. And they're going to lead to some of the best races. I know a lot of times people don't like street tracks, and I know Miami is kind of boring. But given this year, I feel like Miami might be kind of exciting for a change. just in the sense of quality races, hard battles, real on-track action, not just like off-track messiness. I'm trying to get back to like the core essence of racing. Like when the FIA allowed the drivers to use DRS and it was still wet, I was like, oh shoot, FIA acting wild today. Because normally you gotta beg the FIA to open DRS. Like the track would be mostly dry and have a couple damp spots. And they'll be like, nah, still not ready for DRS yet. It was still raining. And they was like, all right, yeah, cool, DRS. I'm like, oh, like they want they want violence today. So I don't really like clap for the FIA, but FIA, hats off to you. Like that was the best thing y'all have done in a while. I felt like what happened earlier today was like a good measurement of where you should have DRS open and where you shouldn't. Like anything more than today, no DRS. But like what we had today and anything less, DRS, bro. Like let the racers race. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I plan on doing these every race, so that's gonna be fun. I'm also gonna have videos in between for like news and important things that come out during the season. So lock in with me, stay with me, and we're gonna enjoy the ride. My name's Darius. This is Formula Fiend because I love Formula One and I need it in my veins every day.